Chris Keys, what are we doing, man?
Hanging out, driving the neighbors crazy.
It's what we do. It's what we do, and today we are looking at the Big Muff by Electro-Harmonix. Okay, so 50 years ago, roughly, 1969, they came out with the Big Muff, and they have since sold almost 1 million of these. Now, Chris, you and I were talking, neither one of us are particularly good at math, but these sell for 99 bucks. And, you know, back in 1969, I'm sure they were worse, but or less, but adjusted for inflation, you sell 1 million of something at $100 each, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
But the reason they've sold 1 million of these is that they're awesome. I mean, this is the Big Muff Triangle is just a killer pedal, man. I mean, okay, coming in, let's look at it right here. The reason they call it the triangle is because these controls are much like a triangle. Now, originally, when they came out with this, it was huge because people didn't really have pedal boards, so it didn't really matter how big your pedal was. In fact, the bigger the better. But they've basically taken that same ingredients and put it in the Smallinator and made it in this normal size. Actually, maybe smaller than some. Runs on 9 volts battery or AC power. And it is so simple and so great. So essentially, here's what you have. Coming in, I came in like this, and here's our bass tone. That's what it's like, just. I'm a little out of tune after that, so let me change. But that's our bass tone. Let me try a Strat. That seems appropriate for a fuzz. Okay, we're back. So coming in, I had it just to tone down a little bit, and the sustain way up and the volume down a little bit, and you can get those really almost like EBO violin type, tones, stuff that Hendrix would do, and whoever, and even like the with David Gilmour on the Wall, that solo. I think that stuff was Big Muff, overdrives or fuzz. Anyway, they really do get that singing violin thing down, particularly if you roll that voice or that tone down a little bit more. It's just so inspiring. But if we want to make it more like a distortion, bring that sustain down a little bit. Just a great classic overdrive. Bring that tone up. Just great, kind of abrasive, everything from abrasive to very warm tones in this thing. I mean, it is such a classic tone, and I love the fact that they made these upgrades. Like, number one, the light's easier to see. It's a way smaller size, and at 99 bucks, that's a bargain. Totally. Tell you what, why don't I try one more set of pickups? You can hear it with some P90s, shall we?
Let's do it.
Why not?
Because the cats in 1954 would love to play some fuzz pedals.
They sure did. Well, that and that Strat, that's my '66, which is totally the Hendrixy kind of year, and it just goes so well with that.
Yeah.
You really get the singy thing.
But I'm saying the cats in '50s probably.
Oh no!
They only dream of what a fuzz would sound like.
Oh yeah, they would have been horrified. I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. They were trying to get rid of distortion. So here we're back. This is the old gold top. Just get this thing kind of flat-ish. God, how huge is that, right? You know, the great thing about this, I mean, it works for chords, of course, but when you're doing single lines, it's just huge. Because you get all these, you can hear all these kind of overtones. I mean, you get 3 for 1 every time. Let's get a little more on this. Wow, right? It kind of makes me want them to do one with it where you could jack the tone while you're playing.
Like an expression?
Yeah. So, okay, for the next million of these you make, how about that? Some kind of expression where you can change your tone, because it's, I mean, it's so wide, that change. If you're in a, you know, like an emo band, of course you can do that while you're playing. Just kneel down and, you know, tweak away.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, that would be kind of cool. Perhaps a little quixotic, probably not anything you're going to do, but, you know, bat it around in the next R&D session.
Maybe in the next 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's going to be interesting to see what pedals will be like in 50 years from now, right?
Can only imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine where it's going, but it's amazing that 50 years ago, this came out and it's still just as hip as could be. You know, that's great. Yeah, I can't even, that's an interesting question, where it's going to go from here in the next 50 years. Wow. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
It blew your mind.
Yeah, it kind of did, thinking about all that. Well, check us out on Instagram, YouTube's, all that stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's just play out a little bit.